Joining us now, Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Trump, you're being faulted for a tone allegedly encouraging violence by every candidate in the race: John Kasich, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders. Take a look at this new ad from an anti-Trump super PAC, which is airing on national cable today.
Donald Trump campaign violence.
I'd like to punch him in the face, knock the crap out of him. They'd be carried out on a stretcher, folks. I promise you, I will pay for the legal fees.
Now, protests on the campaign trail are obviously nothing new. I've seen one in every previous election I've covered, but in every one I've seen before, the leader on the stage tries to lower the temperature, not raise it. Do you ever consider whether you should be trying to lower the temperature when these protests erupt?
I think in many cases I do lower the temperature. I tell the police, please take it easy when people are punching the police and trying to hurt people. When I say things like I'd like to punch him, frankly, this was a person that was absolutely violent and was like a crazed individual. A lot of them are, you know, I don't even call them protesters, I call them disruptors. A lot of them come from Bernie Sanders, whether he wants to say it or not, and if he says no, then he's lying. Bernie Sanders, they have Sanders signs all over the place, and they're made by the same people that make the regular Bernie Sanders signs. They're professionally made. And we have great rallies. We have by far the biggest rallies. We have 25, 30,000 people at rallies. And out of that, you've had very little problem. And then what I did with Chicago, and I could have gone, it would have been easier for me to go and make the speech, and you would have had a clash because you had professional disruptors, thousands of them, from Sanders and to a smaller extent, Hillary. Hillary doesn't have very much fervor, I will say that, and so people don't care that much. But you have Sanders disruptors going over there. You had Ayers there. You had a lot of people there that I don't think is so good to be there. And I'll tell you what, I think what I did, and I've gotten a lot of credit for it, not from CNN. I watched John King this morning. That was a total kill job, the entire show. I was amazed at that show. It was like a total kill. But I'll tell you what, I've gotten a lot of credit from other networks, not from CNN. I've gotten a lot of credit for the fact that I canceled and postponed the other day in Chicago because, frankly, if I went up, we would have had my supporters have tremendous love of this country. They're tired of our country being ripped off by everybody. And I will tell you, you would have had a tremendous clash, and a lot of people would have gotten hurt or worse. And by canceling it, everybody dispersed beautifully. The police did a great job. The Secret Service was fantastic. And there was no injuries, no nothing. So I should get credit, not be scorned on your program by John King all morning long.
Okay, well, that's not my program. But in any case, this morning, sir, you tweeted, Bernie Sanders is lying when he says his disruptors aren't told to go to my events. Be careful, Bernie, or my supporters will go to yours. That sounds like a threat. It doesn't sound like lowering the temperature. It sounds
no, it's not a threat.
It's
not a threat.
Perhaps even worse.
It's not a threat at all. Look, my people have said we ought to go to his rallies because, you know, it's sort of interesting. When liberals and super liberals, and I don't even call them liberals because I have many friends that are liberal and I think they're wonderful people. These are beyond liberal. These people are bad people that are looking to do harm to our country. But when these people come into mind, you know, everybody thinks I'm a bad guy. If my people went into one of his rallies, they'd say, oh, this is a terrible thing. They'd be arrested and all sorts of things would happen to them. If conservative Republicans ever went into his rally, you would see things happen that would be unbelievable. And Bernie would be, oh, poor Bernie, isn't that a shame? There's a horrible thing going on in the media. We are treated so unfairly, and I'm treated very unfairly. I mean, you know, this morning you had your political consultant say I had 5,000 people in Dayton, Ohio. Well, I had far more than 5,000 people. We had a hangar that was filled with people. It had to be 10 or 15,000 people.
I guess, Mr. Trump, the point is that people are getting hurt and people are actually concerned that somebody might get seriously, seriously injured before this is all over, and that you are not taking down the temperature. You are, in the views of many of your fellow Republicans, making things worse, inciting, encouraging violence. And you're a leader, sir. You're the front runner of the Republican Party.
Excuse me. My fellow Republicans are running against me. They are losing big league. In Florida, we have a man Marco Rubio, who doesn't even show up to vote in the U.S. Senate. He's a disgrace. He's weak, very weak on illegal immigration, wants to give amnesty to everybody. He's a person that I don't think he could be elected dog catcher in Florida, frankly, but I'm running against him.
But with all due
nevertheless.
respect, sir.
If you look at, excuse me, if you look at Ohio, we have a man that voted for NAFTA. NAFTA's destroyed Ohio, and now he's voting for TPP. I mean, in Kasich. And, you know, give me a break. They're running against me. So obviously, if I were in their position, I'd be saying the same thing. We have rallies of 25, 30,000 people, and you haven't even said anything about danger in our rallies until Friday. And the danger was ended by a very good managerial decision not to have that particular rally, to postpone it.
I said something about it at the debate on Thursday
How many
night
people
because
were?
people are worried
hey, Jake,
about
you made
it.
a statement. Jake, could I ask you a question? You made a statement that at my rallies, it's dangerous. Now, other than for the other day with Chicago and the one man that rushed the stage and Secret Service did a very good job. But other than that, with thousands of people, 21,000, 25,000, 35,000 people a few weeks ago in Alabama, how many people have been injured at my rallies? Zero. There's been nobody injured.
I don't think that it's
but you
zero.
make it like everybody's being broken down and injured because CNN reports very, very unfairly about me. I'll tell you what. So out of all of these rallies with thousands and thousands of people, and nobody's even close. By the way, Bernie gets peanuts compared to what we get. And I say we because it's me and I'm just a messenger because there is a lot of anger in this country, and it's anger at incompetence. It's anger at the border. It's anger at trade deals that are so bad for us and all our jobs are being taken out of the country. There is a lot of anger. I didn't need to do this. I have a wonderful life. I have a great, great company. I didn't need to do this. I wanted to do it because somebody has to do it.
I would just ask.
Our country is in trouble.
I hear you, sir. I hear you, sir, about the causes of the anger. I would just ask, as a fellow American, if you could consider whether or not dialing down the temperature, trying to bring down the temperature, might be a healthier thing, both for your campaign and for the nation at large. But that's all the time we have.
Well, if you
Thank
would
you so much
report
for
it
joining us,
right-
Donald Trump.
Well, you should report it right because we've had no injuries at my events with thousands of people. You just don't report it that way. So, you know, do what you have to do.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you.